Welcome back to the program. So, Joshtradamus has struck once again. Just a few days ago, and actually we discussed it on Full Throttle Thursday, we were talking about the National Security Advisor position, and Liam stole my thunder, of course, but we talked about possible Mike Flynn taking over that position. As a matter of fact, we both suggested it, said that he never really got an opportunity to serve, the deep state took him out, all of that good stuff. Well, sure enough, today he was on the Benny Johnson show, and he's now been talking about how he would love to serve again. Now, from what we understand, President Trump has not asked him or anything like that, but he is ready to serve. So it's interesting that all of a sudden now he's the hot topic here when it comes to National Security Advisor. So here's kind of what he was talking about on Benny's show today.
Be known. So, at this point in time, the president has, he's got a decision to make, and, and whatever he does, I'm going to continue to fight for this country. That's, frankly, I don't know, maybe I'm designed that way. Maybe I'm designed differently. That's the way I was raised. I was, born on an Army base. I served in the military all my adult life. I've been to combat. I know the world. I've lived on, or been or visited certainly on 6 continents. I served in different critical jobs. And yeah, is there a group of people in the deep state that fear me? You damn right they do. They fear me for a good reason. The media, you think the media? Oh my God, the mainstream media would blow a gasket. I would love to just see that, and whatever. But I do know exactly. I know what I'm talking about, and I know what I would do. That I can guarantee.
I don't know how long you had to pose for this photo, but this is just great angle. And I'm not sure why Trump keeps you in the glass like that. It doesn't seem particularly comfortable, but maybe.
So there's a picture of Trump with a hammer behind his back and Mike Flynn in a glass case, and it says, "break in case of an emergency." So I'll make sure and put that as part of the thumbnail. But I don't know. I have no idea whether it's going to happen. But remember, I did put out a post on X, and we also discussed it on Full Throttle Thursday, that I just would love to see the media go crazy, the deep state go crazy, because let's face it, he's been honest, he's been ethical, and he's been loyal more than anything else. So we'll see what happens. It would be cool if he was. But I don't know. Marco's doing a pretty good job with the jack of all trades that he is as well. But he's not going to do that forever. Okay? Now, next thing was this piece of amazing information. Letitia James is going down. Okay? Now, how do we know that? Well, we already know. I've gone through all the mortgage fraud that she's committed multiple times, not just once, like, oops, by accident, I put the wrong thing on a contract. No, pretended to be married to her dad to get a mortgage, lied about how many units, said that it was 4 units instead of 5 units to defraud the financial institute. I mean, the list is endless, not to mention obstruction, election interference. Trust me, she's going to be prosecuted. How do we know? Well, listen to this.
Also heard from intelligence sources today out of New York, Eric, that subpoenas have gone out to mortgage companies, insurance companies, and title companies regarding Tish James. Subpoenas have been sent out now to the companies that brought them in under oath to go before a grand jury. So there's movement, is what the story is I just got last night.
Okay.
There's movement.
Yeah, it's going to take some time, to roll it out. But
also heard from.
So that is really awesome news. And so I'm excited to hear that as well, because if they're already subpoenaing these companies for their documents and everything else, they are building a case against her. Okay? So she's going to go down eventually, and that is really, really good news. Now, here's some more good news. President Trump has ordered his Department of Justice to take all necessary action possible to make sure that Tina Peters is released from jail. This is a gold star mother. This is a great patriot. This is an incredibly strong-willed woman who basically was doing the right thing. And she took a drive of evidence that showed that Colorado's elections in Mesa County, Colorado, were compromised. And she had the details and she had the information. And so, of course, they went after her for political reasons. The Department of Justice joined into the case, and they are now wanting to know why she was prosecuted, and they're looking into the case. So that's been going on now for a couple of months. And remember, she reported to jail before Trump won the election. It was, I think it was the first or second week of October. I interviewed with her, and I think it was like August of 2024 was when I was on her show. And now President Trump is basically letting them know, do whatever you have to do, figure out a way, but make sure that this woman is released from jail, because these were political prosecutions 100%, and they will be proven as such. So God bless President Trump for doing exactly that. All good news so far today, right? Here's some more interesting good news. The Supreme Court has now allowed President Trump's transgender troop ban to take effect. So in other words, these left-wing organizations tried to stop it, and the Supreme Court said, nope, we're going to let it go through. U.S. Supreme Court on Tuesday allows the Trump administration's transgender military ban to take effect. The Supreme Court stayed the lower court's preliminary injunction on the transgender military ban pending appeal in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. The High Court made the decision 6-3. Liberal Justices Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, and Ketanji Jackson would have denied the application. There was no explanation included in the Supreme Court's decision. So basically what they did is they punted, and they said, I don't want to get involved in the case. We're going to just let the lower court's decision stay. And I don't know. Maybe they'll look at it in the future. Hopefully not. But at least at this point, it's allowed to take effect. So good news there as well. And then the greatest troll of all time, right? I mean, President Trump is literally the greatest troll of all time. He's sitting down with the new liberal leftist leader of Canada, Mark Carney, who, by the way, can't be more than 5'3", maybe 5'4", a little tyrant that he is. Poilievre should have won that race, and probably did. Who knows how much voter fraud was involved. And by the way, oil-rich and mineral-rich Alberta province is looking at secession movements now to get away from the woke liberal idiots in Canada and becoming their own country. I don't know if it's going to happen, but they just announced that they're exploring that right now. But anyway, so President Trump's sitting in the Oval Office with this little pipsqueak, and he starts talking about how he's a real estate developer first before a president. He knows real estate. He loves real estate. He loves to develop real estate. And he has a very artistic mind. And he would love to see how beautiful the non-existent borders would look with the United States and Canada all together. Now, mind you, he's doing this while the pipsqueak is sitting right next to him. Okay? Literally right there when he said this. And he said, I'm an artistic guy, and I would love to see what that looks like, right? So then, this is what the pipsqueak, Carney, said right after that.
They get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. And we have done that in the past. And part of that, as the president just said, is with respect to our own security. And my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership. And I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO, and us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part of it.
And they have. They have, I must say, Canada is stepping up the military
Troll, right here.
Participation because Mark knew, they were low and now they're stepping it up. And that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
I just love it. He's saying, we're not for sale. We'll never be for sale. You'll never own Canada. And then he's like, never say never. I just love it. I just love the fact that he's such a troll like that. Honestly, I've said this before. I don't want 40 million liberals on our voter rolls. I think it's stupid. I would never, ever want all of Canada to be part of the United States. So I don't know why he's saying it. Maybe because he's just trolling them, I guess, right? Just like with the Pope and all these other things. But to do that right to the guy's face after he says, we're never going to be for sale, we're not for sale now, blah, 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 right? And then he's like, never say never, right to his face. I don't know. I just love it. I think he's just a unique individual. He truly is. He really, truly is a unique individual. So anyway, short show for today. The Ed Martin thing, real quick. So we have Tom Tillis, the rhino in North Carolina, saying that he doesn't want to support Ed Martin for U.S. Permanent U.S. D.C. district attorney, basically. And then he proves that it's all political because he then says, if it was any other district other than D.C., I would be on board to vote for him, right? Then, of course, John Cornyn, the rhino, steps up and goes, I'll vote for him. I'll vote for him. Yeah, because you want the endorsement from President Trump. We're not stupid, rhino. So anyway, he's already been recess appointed, which means that his term is up on May 20th. Now, a lot of the news is reporting that Boasberg could be the one that would appoint the next, temporary person. And yes, there is some truth to that. But the interesting thing is that President Trump can pull Ed Martin's nomination and put somebody else up if he has to before Boasberg gets an opportunity on May 20th to do his own appointing. The last thing we want is Boasberg to appoint anyone anywhere. So if this is the case, they don't have the votes. It's 11-11 lock right now. They don't have the extra votes to get it out of committee. He's probably going to pull the nomination. Now, the other thing is he could take Ed Martin and renominate him for the Southern District of New York. Let him go after all the criminals in New York, right? Let him go after Bragg. Let him go after James. Let him go after Juan Merchan, let him go after Egaron, let him go after all the people in New York and take the guy in New York and put him in D.C. and just switch the two. So we'll see what happens. He's going to have to make an appointment probably pretty soon because he can't recess appoint him again. He's already recessed appointed him once, and he went to work immediately going after some of these criminals. Matthew Graves comes to mind immediately. And his use of USC 1512 obstruction to put longer sentences on the January 6ers. So he's already working. He's going after Chuck Schumer even a little bit. So he's already been working. And they know that if he's a permanent replacement, all the people involved in the January 6th Reichstag committee, the entire fake committee, Matthew Graves, all the rest, all the rest of the people that were involved, Liz Cheney, they're all going to go down, every one of them, because he has already signaled that he wants to do that. Now, maybe that was not smart. Maybe he should have not have signaled that just so he could have gotten confirmed and then went after them. But, hey, I don't know. I'm not their advisors, all right? I just report what they're all doing. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Trump pulls the nomination, replaces it with someone just as good. The guy in the Southern District of New York is excellent. Put him in that place, and then put Ed Martin down in Southern District of New York. Just do a swap. And I think if he does that, you're going to get two powerful people busting people in two locations. Anyway, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.